Have you ever been so bored that you picked up your phone without even thinking? You open YouTube, then Instagram, then maybe a game, then somehow an hour disappears. Now imagine waking up one morning. No phone, no TV, no internet, no books, no music apps, no electricity. Just you, a cave, and miles of wilderness. Sounds like the most boring life ever, right? But here's the surprising part. Ancient humans weren't bored as often as we think. In fact, they found countless ways to keep themselves busy, entertained, and connected with each other. So if there were no movies, no video games, and no social media, how exactly did they spend their free time? Let's travel back thousands of years and find out. At first, life for early humans was incredibly hard. Almost every day was about survival, finding food, searching for clean water, making simple tools, avoiding dangerous animals, building shelter before night came. When every day is a fight to survive, you don't really have much time to complain about being bored, but survival wasn't a full-time job every single minute. There were quiet afternoons, rainy days, cold winters, long nights around a fire, and during those moments, people needed something to do, just like we do today. One of the biggest ways ancient humans entertained themselves was by telling stories. Imagine a group sitting around a warm fire after sunset. The flames crackled, the stars filled the sky, there were no screens to look at. So everyone looked at each other. Someone would begin telling a story. Maybe it was about a giant animal they hunted. Maybe it was about a brave warrior. Maybe it was about mysterious spirits living in the forest. Each storyteller added new details. Some stories became funny, others became scary. Children listened with wide eyes while adults laughed or argued about what really happened. These stories weren't just entertainment. They helped people remember important lessons. They taught children where danger lived. They explained strange things they couldn't understand, like thunder or eclipses. And over thousands of years, many of these stories became myths and legends that people still know today. Another popular activity was making art. Have you ever wondered why ancient cave walls are covered with paintings? Those paintings weren't only for decoration. Many probably had special meanings, but they were also a creative activity. People mixed natural colors from charcoal, clay, and crushed rocks. Then they painted animals, hunting scenes, handprints, and symbols. Some caves contain hundreds of paintings. Imagine the patience it took to create them without modern brushes or paints. For ancient humans, creating art was likely relaxing. It allowed them to express ideas long before writing was invented. Even today, millions of people draw simply because it feels good. That hasn't changed much in thousands of years. Music was another huge part of ancient life. Even before people invented proper musical instruments, they could clap their hands. They could stomp their feet. They could hit sticks together. They could beat on hollow logs or animal skins. Rhythm came naturally. Eventually, humans began making simple flutes from bird bones and animal bones. Some of these flutes are over 35,000 years old. Think about that. Someone, tens of thousands of years ago, was sitting somewhere playing music simply because they enjoyed it. Music helped people celebrate. It helped them dance. It brought communities together. And it probably made difficult days feel a little easier. Speaking of dancing, people have likely been dancing for as long as they've been human. Nobody knows exactly when dancing began, but moving together to a rhythm creates happiness. It builds friendships. It strengthens groups. Whether it was celebrating a successful hunt or welcoming a new season, dancing became part of life across many ancient cultures. And honestly, if you've ever danced alone in your room when nobody was watching, you're not that different from your ancient ancestors. Games were also surprisingly common. Children have always loved to play. Thousands of years ago, kids chased each other, threw stones at targets, balanced on logs, climbed trees, and invented games using whatever they found around them. Adults played too. Archaeologists have discovered ancient board games that are over 5,000 years old. People also played guessing games, racing games, and strategy games. Competition is something humans have always enjoyed. Winning felt just as satisfying back then as it does today. People also loved creating things with their hands. If they weren't hunting or gathering food, they were often making something useful. They carved wood, they shaped bones, they polished stones, They braided plant fibers, they made baskets, they repaired tools. They created jewelry from shells, animal teeth, and colorful stones. Sometimes these objects had practical uses. Other times they were simply beautiful. Creating something with your own hands gives a sense of achievement. That's why people today enjoy hobbies like knitting, woodworking, painting, and crafting. The feeling hasn't changed. Nature itself was another form of entertainment. Ancient humans noticed things that most of us completely ignore today. Animal footprints, different bird songs, changing clouds, new flowers blooming, the movement of stars across the sky. Without city lights, the night sky looked absolutely incredible. Imagine seeing the Milky Way every single night. Watching shooting stars wasn't a rare event. It was simply part of life. Many ancient people spent hours watching the sky, trying to understand the patterns above them. That curiosity eventually helped humans create calendars and understand the seasons. Another way people stayed entertained was through friendly competition. Who could throw a spear the farthest? Who could run the fastest? Who could climb a tree first? These simple challenges made people stronger, while also making daily life more exciting. Some competitions eventually grew into festivals and sporting events. Long before the Olympics existed, humans were already competing for fun. Unlike many animals, humans are deeply social. People talked, shared meals, solved problems together, helped raise children, worked as teams. Simply spending time with others made life more enjoyable. Today, many people feel lonely even while surrounded by technology. Ancient humans had something different. They spent far more time face-to-face. Their community was their entertainment. Of course, not everything was fun. Life was dangerous. People got injured. Food sometimes became scarce. Storms destroyed shelters. Predators attacked. But even during difficult times, humans found ways to smile, sing, tell stories, and support each other. That ability may have been one of the greatest reasons our species survived. What's really interesting is that boredom itself may have helped humans become smarter. When people had nothing urgent to do, their minds wandered. They imagined new ideas, better tools, new hunting methods, different ways to build shelters. Creative thinking often begins when the brain has space to explore. In a strange way, boredom may have pushed human innovation forward. Now compare ancient life to ours. We have endless entertainment available every second. Movies, games, music, podcasts, social media, artificial intelligence, millions of videos waiting to be watched. Yet people today often say they're bored. Why? Because boredom isn't only about having nothing to do. It's also about how our brains work. When we're constantly surrounded by quick entertainment, our minds expect endless excitement. Ancient humans didn't have that expectation. They found joy in simple things: a conversation, a song, a story, a game, a beautiful sunset, or simply sitting around a fire with people they cared about. Maybe that's the biggest lesson they can teach us. Entertainment doesn't always need electricity. It doesn't always need a screen. Sometimes the best moments come from creativity, curiosity, and spending time with others. The next time you feel bored and automatically reach for your phone, stop for a second. Think about your ancestors. Thousands of years ago, they had almost nothing compared to us. Yet somehow, they laughed, they danced, they made music, they painted, they played games, they told unforgettable stories, and they built friendships strong enough to help humanity survive. Maybe they weren't living a boring life after all. Maybe they simply knew how to enjoy the world in ways we've slowly forgotten. And who knows? If one of those ancient humans suddenly appeared today, they might be amazed by our technology. But after watching us stare at screens all day, they'd probably ask one very simple question. If you have everything, why do you still say you're bored?